Shabbat Shalom. Today's video is sponsored by Doctors Richard and Ruth Rolnick in memory of Richard's family that died al Kiddush Hashem by the hands of the Nazis and all the members of their town. Hashem Yimkom Damam. Also sponsored in memory of Harav Meir David ben Harav Yecheskel Shraga HaKohen Zecher Tzadik Livracha. Hashem Yimkom Damo. The first war in human history. We have a war between 4 kings and 5 kings, and Lot gets trapped in the middle and he's captured. And all his possessions. And Abraham goes to wage war and he saves Lot. And the king of Sedom, who was captured and saved by Abraham indirectly, comes to meet Abraham. And he tells Abraham, Tell li hanefesh, give me back the lives, varechush kach lach. All the wealth and spoils of war are yours. Abraham turns to the king of Sedom and says, Im mechut ve'atzeruchnal. Whether even a string or a shoe strap, not taking anything that's yours. Don't say, I'm the one who made Abraham rich. Abraham refuses to take a dime from the king of Sedom. Question is, chapter before, Abraham runs away to Egypt, and Pharaoh takes Sarah, and before he leaves, the king of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, showers him with gifts and blessings and animals and wealth, and he takes it. Why won't he take it from Sedom? But I have another question for you. The Gemara in Sotah says, in the Zechut that Avraham Avinu refused to take from a string to a shoe strap, he was zocheh that his children got 2 mitzvot. Because he refused to take even a string, he was zocheh to the strings, the tzitziot in the corners of our garment. And because he refused to take even a shoe strap, he was zocheh that his children will wear tefillin in the future. Question is, what in the world are these two ideas connected? What does him not taking money from the king of Sedom have to do with him, his future children, getting these 2 mitzvot? So I want to share with you a fascinating insight. The Mishnah Avot says, in contrast between Avraham and Bilam, Avram is an Ein Tov. Bilam is an Ein Ra. Ein Tov literally means a good eye. And Bilam was an Ein Ra, had a bad eye. What does an Ein Tov mean? See, as human beings, when we relate to God, we relate very differently as we relate to human beings in some ways. See, when we turn to God, we turn to people who are lacking. We don't have anything. God, we recognize everything comes from you. We'll ask you for health, life, prosperity, sustenance, all our needs, because we recognize without you we don't have anything. But when we look out to the universe and to the rest of the world, we look at the world not what we can get. What can I give you? See, we're full. We have everything we need because God gave it to us. What can I give to the world? Where could I contribute? And when I see people who have and are successful and are prosperous, when we see that, we're grateful, we're happy for them. That's amazing. And we see people who are lacking, who are in need. We rush to help them because we want them to have success too. That's an Ein Tov. His view of the world is, what can I give and contribute to the world? In Ein Ra views the world very differently. In Ein Ra views the world, you have, that means I'm lacking. Because you have something, I don't have it. So I don't want you to have. And if you have it, I'm jealous and I begrudge you for having it. Because the more you have, the less I have. That's Ein Ra. The person who views the world and everybody around him, what can I take from the world? What can the world give me? Now what can I give? These are two opposing worldviews. Abraham approaches the king of Sedom. The king of Sedom is the epitome of this corrupt worldview. Sedom was anti-chesed. You can't do kindness in Sedom. It's a capital crime. To help somebody else is a crime. Because if I give, I'm deficient. I'm lacking. I can't give you mine. And whatever else everybody has, if you're missing something, you can't give it to me. Whatever you have bothers me. That's Ein Ra. What can I take from the world? That's Sedom. Sedom wants to influence Abraham. He wants to show Abraham, you're just like me. You also can conquer spoils of war and keep them. Abraham says, no way. Take everything. I want nothing from you. We don't view the world that way. In our worldview, the more people have, the happier we are. I don't take anything from anybody but directly from God. It's a fascinating Gemara in Avodah Zarah. The Gemara is discussing a pasuk in Mishle. It says, "La'aluka shete banot." A leech has two daughters, and they scream out, "Have, give me," twice. The Gemara explains here, in the name of Morukva, what is a leech? A leech is something that can't exist on its own. It only survives by leeching, sucking other people's blood, other people's life force. It survives by taking from others. And the leech screams out, have, give. The Gemara says, what does give twice? These are two kinds of people that scream out give. Minut, those who deny God, v'hareshut, and those who want power, positions of power over others. So those who want position of powers over others, I understand. They're screaming out give. Because why do you want power? I want to be able to take from wherever I want. I have power over you. I can take what you have. I can tax you as much as I want. That's power. But why minut? The person who denies God. Why does he also scream have? See, if a person denies that whatever he has comes from God, so then whatever there exists out there is limited resources. And if you have, it means I'm lacking. When I go out and look at the world, the more people have, the more I begrudge them. Because you have, that means I don't have. That's a mean. He also screams have. These are two worldviews. Sedom is like this leech. Bil'am was an Ain Ra, who views the world, doesn't recognize his blessings come from God. Doesn't recognize, and therefore sees the world when they have, he's lacking. And that's why Abraham is zocheh to these two mitzvot. You see, tzitzit, we look at the tzitzit, we say, Uritem oto uschartem et kol mitzvot Hashem. When you look at them, remind us of Hashem, that it comes from him. And therefore we view the world with ayin tov. So he was zocheh to the mitzvah of tzitzit. And the shoe straps represent tefillin. Because what tefillin is, Kishem Hashem nikra alecha. Hashem says, but you wear tefillin, that means my name is on you. That's Hashem's relating back to us. Represents the connection between us and God. Both this mitzvot personify us looking up to God and God showering down on us with blessing. So because you were an ayin tov and you refused to take from Sedom, your children will have these two mitzvot to remind them to be ayin tov for all future generations. To look at the world, what we can give, how we can help, what we can contribute, and not see the world as a place of what I can take for myself. Leaving politics aside, I think we have a choice this week between these two worldviews. Shabbat Shalom.